Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a pretty exciting video. Finally, after again maybe couple months break, I did manage to rescue a houseplant from the near garbage containers. Guys, this is happening. So today morning, it happened today, so we're freshly with all emotions and happiness. So today I was walking my puppy Baloo in the morning before going, back home to work. Today I'm working from home, which is very ideal, and I can take this lunch break to take care of this plant, prepare it for growing in my home, and just do all of the shebangings that I do often, right? I was walking my baby Baloo. We were on our way back home actually when I noticed like a little branch that was extremely spiky near the garbage containers. And I was suspicious because we do not have that many spiky plants like growing outside here in Vilnius. So I was curious. So I walked in a little bit closer when I noticed that it's not a flippin' like perennial plant that is growing outside here in Lithuania / Vilnius. It was a flippin' plant that usually is grown indoors as a house plant because it actually came from the Madagascar. So it is called like cacti of Madagascar, but it's not a cacti, it's actually a euphorbia. And you know how much, technically you probably not, but if you don't, here the facts, here you go. So I do love euphorbia so much, I tend to collect them actually, and this is the one that I do not have. I used to have, but I killed it, and this one is massive. So without any further ado, let me insert a clip right now of the moment when I found it outside today morning, and then we'll come back home and I will show what I'm gonna do with it. Alright, we're back. So as you can tell, it's a flippin' massive Euphorbia miliae. I'll be honest, at first I thought maybe it's some kind of another variety of Euphorbia miliae that I never heard of. But I am pretty sure that it's just an old one. It's been growing. It's like OG Euphorbia. And actually in Lithuania, Euphorbias are pretty popular, but they are not that easy to find in houseplant stores / big box stores or any kind of stores, right? So if you're lucky enough to know like a grandma or like, most often they're not grandma, but specifically if you know any people who grow them and they are like willing to share a cutting of it, then you'll have it. If not, it's a pretty interesting hunt for this plant. So I'm actually really excited. Let me show you it up close right now. It's a tricky plant to pick up, and sorry for the lighting. We have storm coming, so if the light is changing, action is happening outside. Okay guys, this is it. Look at this humongous beast. So at the top it has those beautiful, almost succulenty / anthurium, by the texture I would call them the closest to anthurium leaves. And they also have those beautiful red blooms that are so cool. There are so many bloom stems. Oh my god, it's so difficult to show it. And it has the crazy woody stem. It looks like a tree branch at this point, right? With those crazy spikes. So it's one singular like cutting with a little branch on it. And of course I won't be just planting it like so and like hoping for the best, because it's already nuts, it's already looking big, taking a lot of space. So what I'm gonna try to do, I'll try to propagate it and plant it all up and see if I'll be able to rescue it, because honestly with the plants that are a little bit, right? With the plants that are a bit older, it's way more difficult to propagate them, because since the stems are, oh my gosh, the lighting is nuts. Colgate commercial. Right. Anyway, so if you have pretty woody stems, they are not that easy to propagate, to grow roots. So it's gonna be a fun project. I really do hope I'll manage to save this plant because it's so cool, and I actually was on a look for Euphorbia millii, and to have this like OG one, this huge one, would be so cool. So right now, actually on my way home, I took out as many yellow leaves as I could. I can see some are still stuck right here, so I'm gonna take them aside. Oh, you know what? I can see a little baby in here as well. Little tiny baby. You can see that tiny leaf is coming from a little branch. Okay, this is cool. And you know what? The coolest part, at first you see those sticks, right? I thought these are only from the blooming, right? Like this one. Oh my gosh, the color is so cool. Ooh! Right, so I thought I'll just cut them off since they rebloomed and just looking like an empty like sticks. But you know what? From the other side I noticed that those very same sticks actually growing leaves like so. So I'll be honest, I have no flipping clue what's going on. Is it possible for them? I mean, it looks like it is. Look at this. Look at this. It already have spikes and tiny leaves on top. So I wanna believe from what I'm seeing right now that all of these sticks might grow pups on them and just have a little tiny babies growing out there like branches slash babies. So instead of cutting them off as a plant, oh gosh, instead of cutting them off as a plant, I think I'm gonna leave them and see what happens. Why not? I mean, since we're already experimenting, let's go all in, right? So right now what I wanna do, I wanna put it back on the table because, oh, I'm so nervous just to hold it, you know? Another thing you need to know about euphorbias, they're actually pretty toxic to pets, not plants. Oh my goodness, look at it. Oh. Let's wait a bit for the sun to come down. Oh my gosh, I cannot even open my eyes all the way up. So let me just quickly tell a little bit more about it and then we'll jump into the business when you can see what the heck am I doing. So these euphorbias actually tend to have this white sap. They all do have that white sap that is extremely toxic. Do not handle it if you are not that confident with your like repotting skills, propagating skills, should I say? I'm not sure. I mean, be careful around your face, around your eyes, around your pets, kids, whoever. I mean, this is toxic, this is dangerous, so just be safe, right? I already prepared some paper napkins to catch all of that sap. I also make sure that my puppies are in the other room just in case they will be curious and want to sniff things around. They are not able to do it yet, right? I also prepared clippers, of course, for obvious reasons. We're gonna be cutting it in pieces, ha ha ha, right? So I think I'm gonna propagate maybe in 3 pieces, maybe in 4. So I just want to have this like more confident ratio of cuttings in case one decides to rot on me. I still have like a couple left, right? I'm also gonna be using a rooting hormone just in case. I know not all people like go with them, not everybody believe in them for some reason, but you know what? Why not? I have it laying around, why not to use it, right? And lastly, I already prepared a terracotta pot that I'm gonna be planting it directly into, so I'm not gonna do a water propagation. I mean, I could, but I won't. Also prepared a soil mix, and this time I went, ooh, there's a spider on my spoon. Spooky season. Ooh, okay. Okay, you just go with your business. So I also prepared like a pretty sandy mix because since this is like coming from the Madagascar, I want to make it feel like at home. So what I did, I mixed my cacti mix, added a little bit more of sand inside, a little bit more of perlite and leca balls. So it looks like so right now. Pretty sandy, very airy. It should be so good for this euphorbia, right? So it looks like the sun finally come down a little bit, or the clouds, should I say, right? So let's jump into the business. Let me put the soil aside for now, because first we're gonna work on the plant itself. Guys, you have no idea how nervous I was to like bring this plant back home. It took me about 20 minutes to come back home with this plant, and all those 20 minutes I was like in a panic mode because it's very spiky. My puppy was of course in action mode because he was ready for the adventures in the morning after a long night's sleep. So it was a tricky business, I'm not gonna lie, but you know what? I think I flipping nailed it. I mean, it's here, so I guess I did. Okay, let's see how we're gonna cut it. Alright, so I have this like almost my arm length Euphorbia. I'm so excited. My gosh, it's been a while since I had new Euphorbia, so this is so exciting. Okay, okay, so maybe let's cut it like this. And then like this. Yeah, in 3 pieces. Let's do let's do the 3 pieces. Should we? Should we do the 3 pieces? What are these? Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Whew, guys, breathe. Oh, perfectly. Sun is shining straight into the place I wanna cut, so you can see it a bit better. Oh, look at all of that sap leaking right now. Oh my gosh. Let me pick it up so you can see it. Look at it. It's leaking right now as I'm speaking. It's very toxic, very dangerous. I would suggest to use gloves if you have them, because you know, just to be safe. I need to stop moving my hair, but I just showered, so everything is moist and working on my nerves. But anywho, let's get to another part of propagating, right? So I wanna take it closer to myself. Bam. So right now I have this piece that has a branch on it, right? Oh gosh, I'm so far away from you, right? Give me a second. I have this piece that have this branch, so I want to cut it just above the branch, so I already will have this piece that is branching out. And plus, if I would keep it with the top cutting, it would be sitting in the soil, which I don't think would be ideal. So you know what we're gonna do? Like so. Just watch. It's leaking like crazy. I'm gonna need to wash my table after all of this work, because my goodness, it's juicy. Wow, it's very juicy. Okay, okay. Stop, don't touch anything. Okay. So right now, what I want to do, I want to start like preparing my soil into the pot and let it dry for at least couple minutes as I'm doing so. So they will callus like a little tiny bit. Then I'm gonna put them into the hormone, rooting hormone, right? And then we're gonna be planting them. I mean, you will see everything in the video. Why the heck am I going ahead of myself, right? So I want to look for a rock that I can put on a hole of the pot. Bam. Cool. Okay. Since these are cuttings without any roots, I want to go ahead and fill this pot almost all the way in. Bam. Oh my gosh, I love working with sandy soil mixes. They're so, I'm not sure why, maybe because my mom used to have a lot of cacti when I was a kid, so they're just really like close to my heart. Guys, I'm on a flippin' lunch break. Oh my gosh, people are not caring about anyone anymore. The business is business. Your personal needs like lunch is like not important. Can't you see I'm eating right now? Okay, so I have this almost all the way up, right? Let's save some soil for future. Okay, and as I can see, most of these are starting to stop leaking. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna plant them one by one. And since I have this bottom cutting that is not leaking from the bottom, because the bottom have been cut like, I'm not sure how long ago. I mean, when I found it, it looked like it's still kind of fresh because the leaves were still on, they weren't dry or anything. And also it's so lucky for this plant that I found it today, because this night we're gonna have extremely cold night. I think last night was already pretty chilly. We had like 11 degrees in Celsius, so not sure how much that is in Fahrenheit. Probably you see it on the screen right now. If not, please Google it. But it's not a lot, and this night we're gonna have only +5 above zero, so this is really cold. So you are so flippin' lucky. I decided to take that corner this morning, right? Okay, so I have this bottom cutting. I wanna go ahead, tap that sap a bit, so it will be a bit safer for me to work. Okay, okay. Bam. Let's poke it into the groove, into the rooting hormone, like so, right? And pop it straight into the pot. I'm making a little hole. Bam. This. Oh, this is gonna look so cool if it's gonna root and survive for me. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Actually, I did some damage, and I ordered some plants from the local houseplant store, so soon prepare for a houseplant unboxing. I'm so excited. You probably noticed, if you have been watching my videos for a while, that I do not buy new plants very often. Like every other month or so is when I buy plants. So it's a big deal. I'm excited. It's a really big deal. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing for this cutting as well. So I'm tapping some sap so the top will be dry. Very same thing I'm doing with the bottom, right? And since it's all patted, it seems to not leak anymore. I wanna go ahead once. Okay, the spikes actually will not be working. They won't let me tap the rooting hormone. So you know what? I'm gonna cut some bottom spikes off just for me making it a little bit more easy to handle. I mean, you don't have to do it, right? But you also can do it. So it's all about you, right? Okay. Bam, we're ready. Yep. Alrighty. Yep. And let's do the same thing, making a hole right here. Oh, it's getting really dark, spooky. Okay. So I did the same thing with this one, and you know what? Okay. This is in a very bad position right now, right? I did the very same thing, so I cut off some bottom spines, so I'll be able to put it inside of this rooting hormone box slash tube, should I call it? I'm not even sure. But you know what? We have a little problem. Since we have those blooming, I'm not sure how to call them, so I'm just gonna keep on calling them blooming sticks. Okay, this leaf. Yep. Look at all of these. It was blooming like crazy this summer, but since I'm gonna be putting this plant under the soil, like until here, the least, these parts gonna be rotting. So you know what? I think I'm gonna just cut them off to prevent that. I would rather save this whole plant itself than just, you know, couple cuttings like this ones. I mean, technically I could try and propagate these ones as well, but I have many more branches in here. And you know what? I also have leaves that are not hanging in there that much, so I'm gonna cut the ones that are broken, like so, right? Because they just gonna fell off, yellow off. So let's do that right now as well. Bam. I love Euphorbia so much because at the same time they can look like cacti, but also like a flipping palm, for example. I mean, look at this. Look at these juicy green leaves. And the blooms, oh my gosh, the blooms, they remind me of Christmas, actually. You know those Christmas plants? Oh my gosh, I will put it on the screen, right? I actually, only last year was the time when I found out that they're actually euphorbias. I had no flipping clue. So this reminds me a lot of these plants. Okay, bam, rooting hormone. Oh, it's getting really dark. More rooting hormone. Okay, bam. The bottom is covered in rooting hormone, so I'm gonna do the very same thing I did with the rest of these. This one I'm putting aside for now. Oh my goodness. Keep your fingers crossed. It's gonna be okay. Okay, give me a second. I need to focus because there are so many spikes I'm working with right now. It's actually spooky business for sure. So I don't want to put these cuttings too deep because they might rot on me, right? So I'm just putting them like a couple or maybe 3 inches deep into the soil. I also have this tape for plants, right? So I'm gonna go ahead, cut a bit and use it to keep them all together. If the soil, for example, dries out and they decide to go their separate ways, I want to avoid that, of course, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and tight them all up like so. Oh, this is so exciting. I love working on saving projects, on rescue missions like this one. I mean, look at this. This is a plant with already so much of, like, I would say, like, charisma and story to it, right? I mean, it's been rescued from a flipping garbage containers area. So it's not that simple plant you bought in a houseplant store or a grocery store. So whenever I am able to do a rescue mission like this one, it's always so much fun. Ooh, I know a lot of you actually found me from the rescue missions. Let me know in the comments if you found me from one of my rescue videos, like the first video you ever saw was a rescue mission from myself. And which one, if you remember, that would be so cool to learn. I mean, that already brings so much like good feelings for me, so many good vibes, memories. Ah, good vibes only, right? Okay, so you know what? I feel like I added enough soil. Let me show you up close how this pot is looking like. It's a bit crazy, right? But at the same time, how cool is that? Isn't that a flippin' spooky plant? That is so spooky. The last thing I wanna do actually, I do not want to go ahead and crazy water it like with the shower and spray it all down. I already actually sprayed this whole branch in my shower to clean all of the dust and all of the bugs from the outdoors, and only then brought it back home. So it's all safe in that section or slash territory, right? But right now, since it's all planted, it has rooting hormone, beautiful soil mix around it, I do not want to go ahead and give it another like huge shower and soak it in the water, and so it will have like moist feet or like wet feet, as people tend to say, right? What I want to do, I actually want to use my watering bottle with this, like, what do you call it, this little nose thing. And I just want to water it slightly because it actually was standing outside, and this night we had rain, so it was soaked in water already. So I just wanna cover the very top of it, moisten it up a bit, and that's it. So the moisture will come only couple like inches down, and I believe that will like be the best option ever. Bam. Little water. So I feel like I'm adding like only like max couple shots of water into this whole thing. And the next thing is gonna be to wait and see for the like growing signs on this plant, which would be new leaves, new growth points. There we have it. Bam, the finished project, the finished product. Oh my gosh. I'm nervous, I'm excited, I have so many feelings about it, and I feel good. I feel like this rescue mission might be very successful. Actually, while we're still talking about rescue missions, do you remember the aloe that was so colorful, filled with rainbow colors, that I rescued this summer? And I put it actually outside in the balcony, like public balcony that all of my neighbors are using. For 2 months nobody touched it, and it actually started to bounce back, to be happy, and I was so extremely excited to bring it back home and, you know, have it as a houseplant here inside, because I felt like most of the bugs would be left like by that point. But last week I noticed that somebody took that aloe, and I have a lot of feelings about it, to be honest. I'm not sure. I mean, I really do hope somebody took it home and grows it as a houseplant and not just throw away into containers, because that would be devastating. I put so much work and effort and, you know, my own things like potting mix and pots and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, look how spooky that is. On the very side of the spot there is a spider. Can you see it? Oh, so this euphorbia comes with spooky um, like vibes itself. Very Halloweeny. Oh my gosh, lovely. Okay, yeah, so long story short, there will be no updates on that aloe, which is so unfortunate because this week was the week that I brought all of my plants back home, and that plant should be like in between of all of those plants, and it's not happening, so that is so sad. But life happens, right? Life flipping happens. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this rescue mission, because I feel like this one was so much fun, and I do hope it's gonna be an excellent video for the future where I'm gonna give you updates on it. Of course, this one is gonna be staying in my home, so nobody gonna steal it, so the only thing it can do is just die. Hopefully it won't, but you know. Anywho, thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know how do you feel about this rescue mission. Do you have any tips or tricks? Everything is welcome in the comments, of course. Like this video if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more plenty content, and maybe probably some more rescue missions, because I tend to notice that every autumn people, since they need to bring back a lot of plants home from the balconies and stuff like that, they tend to get rid of some of them because not all of them fit. So this is one of the examples, I believe. But at the same time, it was only one singular branch, so maybe it just broke off. But at the same time, the very bottom of this branch looked like it was cut off. So let me know, what is your theory, what happened to this plant, why it ended up being thrown away near the garbage containers. I'm curious to see what you little detectives come up with. But I just believe that, I don't know, maybe it poked somebody and, you know, the owner was not in the greatest mood that day, so he just flipping chopped it off and threw it away near the garbage containers. I mean, he still had a little bit of attachment, so he did not throw it away directly into garbage containers, but left it near so people can, you know, save it and take it. But anyhow, yeah. And okay, enough monologue, right? Before leaving you, let me teach you another language lesson. Okay, since the raining season is here, since it's raining right now as I'm speaking, let me teach you how to say rain in Lithuanian and in Russian. If you want to say rain in Lithuanian, you need to say lietus. Once again, lietus. And if you want to say rain in Russian, you need to say дождь. Once again, дождь. This is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. No touchy touchy. Woo!